Good day, my name is Joseph Kebby. In Africa, we hear of a lot of radio stations not only being gutted by fire, but sadly, there are loss of lives. Joining us today is a veteran firefighter that will be giving us some tips as to how we can be prepared when the disaster strikes. Brenda, what is it that we need to be prepared? The equipment that we need on the premises.
We're going to go through three areas, and we're going to try to make it really simple.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about smoke alarms.
Right.
We're going to talk about having a working fire extinguisher and knowing how to use it. And we're going to talk about having an escape plan, how to get out of the building and stay away so nobody gets hurt.
So we're dealing with three. Let's start with the alarms. How many should I have at my radio station?
As a general rule of thumb, we want to have one in each room. We want to have one in common areas, so hallways, lobbies, things like that. And then we want to make sure if anyone's ever going to be sleeping in that building, we have an alarm in that room that they're going to be sleeping in.
How many times should I be worried about changing a battery in an alarm?
So there's a couple different types of alarms that we have. These two right here, you can notice are a little bit different. So this one has a sealed battery that I never need to check. And this one's good for 10 years. So it's going to start beeping after 10 years, telling me it needs to be replaced.
Okay.
And this one has a battery in the front. And I want to make sure that this gets changed at least once a year.
Right. Now, you said that this particular one, that at least 10 years time. But what should I do before the 10 years get there?
So each month I want to make sure that this is working by pushing that test button.
Okay.
Each one of these has a light on the front of it, so that's just going to tell me that there's power to the unit. So once a month I want to make sure that I test that just to make sure it's working.
So once a month, basically, don't just look at it because it's a 10 years kind of battery lifeline that I shouldn't be able to test them. But every single month, at least get in a constant habit of testing them. Should they be beeping? Should my alarm be beeping at all? Because I mean, in some places, I've entered in some places and I heard alarms going beep, beep. What should be done? Is that a good sign?
So under normal operations, we do not want to have this smoke alarm beeping. The alarm uses that beep to tell us something's going on. So on the front of them, there's a test button, so I can push this and I can make the alarm beep. And that's just its way of telling me it's working correctly.
Right.
It's going to beep when there's an actual emergency. So if it detects smoke, it's going to start beeping. And then certain alarms are going to beep either when there's a low battery that needs to be replaced,
right, or
the detector itself or the alarm itself needs to be replaced.
Now let's get to this sweet baby here, the fire extinguisher. What kind should I look for?
So there are several different kinds of extinguishers. This is called a dry chemical extinguisher. It's probably the most common type of extinguisher you're going to find anywhere you go. And there's different classifications of fire. And this will put out Class A, which is normal combustibles, paper, wood, things like that.
Right.
Class B, which is flammable liquids. And then Class C, which is electrical equipment, including energized electrical equipment. So we want to use this in a place where there's computers, radio equipment, and we do not want to use water. So all of these will have a label on the front of them telling you what kind of fire they can be used for.
Why shouldn't we use water in a radio station?
One is that if we have energized electrical equipment, we don't want to electrocute anybody by adding water. Water is a very good conductor of electricity, so we could potentially make the problem worse.
Right.
Water is also not good on flammable liquid fires because oils and water don't mix, so we can actually make the fire bigger. This extinguisher uses a powder instead of water to put the fire out.
If a fire was just started by maybe a cable that is not placed in right, or electricity at the air condition or somewhere around the transmitter room. What can I do at that point?
Sometimes, and we need to be really careful with it, but you can safely either turn the power off to the building or unplug the cord of the appliance. But be really careful in doing that you don't A, electrocute yourself, or B, get involved in the fire itself.
Right. So now when you safely maybe put the breakers off and there's a fire already in the studio, how do you fight that? What will you term that fire to be?
Well, if it's an electrical equipment and there's energy still running to it, we're going to call it a Class C, if you remember. And there's a picture of that on here, and it tells me what that is. But now I don't have electricity running to it, so I just have plastic and metal and wiring and things like that. So I'm really just fighting a Class A fire.
And of course, that state, you have to be very cautious with that as
Absolutely.
well, because there's a potential of that also basically engulfing, the entire building, and so people have to be very careful with that.
Absolutely.
Let's demonstrate this the extinguisher.
Okay, I want to make this really simple because it is, and this shouldn't be overwhelming for anybody. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pull this pin out. And what that does is that keeps these handles apart.
Okay.
So I'm going to pull the pin.
Right.
Okay. I'm going to take my hose and I'm going to aim it at the base of my fire, wherever the bottom of the fire is.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm going to grab my handle and I'm going to squeeze these two handles together. And that's going to spray the powder out of this end. And then I'm going to sweep back and forth.
Brendan, you said point this at the base of the fire to start fighting it.
Yeah.
Why should I point this at the base of the fire? In actual sense, when I'm seeing my acoustics are actually burning already, why should I point this at the base of the fire?
That's a great question. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start fighting the fire where it started, whatever the initial fuel is.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can start working up. If the fire is moving up a wall, I can then use my hose to then spray up the wall or whatever else is on fire. But I really want to start with where the fire started.
What should be the distance? I mean, how far can this actually go?
So these are going to shoot a lot farther than you think they are, but a good, safe way to do that is to start further back. And then as you squeeze that, if you're not quite reaching it, to then move into the fire. That way you're staying further away. And once you're putting the fire out, you can move towards it.
And basically, again, doing that with caution and safety, because you don't also want to be fighting the fire and then there's another fire behind you.
Exactly.
Don't say that, okay, I'm going to use water, I'm going to use sand. If you have the chance, get one of these babies. Now, how do I know that this is actually working?
That's a good question. So again, just like the smoke alarms, we want to do an inspection about once a month. We want to just look at the general condition of the fire extinguisher, make sure there's no damage, corrosion. I have all my parts. This pin is in, and I have a clear hose that's unobstructed and no holes in it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do that once a month. And the biggest thing is on the front of these, I have a gauge,
Right.
because this is pressurized container. So I want to make sure that my pressure is appropriate. This one shows me when I'm in the green, that means it's good and ready to go. If it's outside of that, then this needs to be replaced or thrown away.
So if I'm going to a place to buy these are some of the things that I should actually look for.
Mm-hmm.
But after I bought this already and it's at my radio station, where should I locate this? Where should I place it?
So we want to have it in a place that's visible to everyone in there, and that everybody knows where it is. We want to have it maybe hanging on a wall or something like that, so it's easy to get to without any obstructions in front of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so everybody knows where it is. We don't want to stuff it in the back of a cabinet so we forget where it is and then it's hard to get to because other things get put in front of it.
Quite a number of years ago, I wanted to get on a ship and I had to do some sort of training. And every time during our training, we had to do fire drills.
Mm-hmm.
what should we do? What should we know in terms of preparation?
One easy way to do that is to draw a very basic picture of the building with all the rooms included and try to find 2 ways out of every room. I know that sometimes that's not possible, but usually there's going to be a door or a window that we can get out of. And if there's not, we want to make sure that we can keep everybody calm, moving towards the one exit that we have. But it's very easy to just draw a map and use that as a plan on how everybody's going to get out, no matter what room they're in. And then we want to set up a meeting place away from the building. That way we know everybody's out of the building, and then we can call emergency services, fire department, police department, and keep everybody away from the building. And the last thing we want to make sure is nobody goes back into the building.
That got to be a tough one. Let's say a radio station have been operating for like 9 years. The 10th one, there's a fire, and of course, a lot of great equipment, the transmitter, a lot of things that are potentially about to get burned, and the fire is not yet really hot. And why can't I go back in?
Here's an easy way to look at it. Anything that's still in the building, even if it's radio equipment or a computer or your passport, that can all be replaced. But if you go back in there and you get injured or worse, we can't replace you. So we want to keep everybody out and away from the building.
You know what? I have seen a very sad scenario when at least 2 people went back into a building that was burning, actually at a radio station. And sadly, one of them lost their lives. And today, they're no longer with us. But we were able to replace the computers, even to a larger extent, the building. But the life is no longer. So the most valuable thing that I think I kind of pick up from here, yes, with all of the preparation, but making sure that I don't see danger and go back into danger.
Absolutely.
Brendan, thank you very much. Let's go now and fight some fire. Well, here we are. It's Joseph Kebby here. Brendan, please, let's just review some of the areas that we touched on.
We'll do a quick review. The first thing you're going to do, Joseph, is you're going to pull the pin.
Right.
You're going to take the nozzle, you're going to aim it at the base of the fire.
Right.
You're going to squeeze the 2 handles together and you're going to sweep back and forth.
Right.
An important thing to remember with this extinguisher is once that pressure comes out of it, no matter how little you use, you can't use this again. So it needs to be either replaced or recharged after you use it.
Okay, here we are. I think we're ready to fight some fire.
Showtime.
Showtime.
Just give it a good squeeze all the way. There you go. Okay, good. Now you're going to back away to make sure that that fire's out.
Well, there you have it. We've just been showing some areas actually that we can help to save lives and properties. Because one thing for sure is that we cannot stop disasters from happening. We can prepare that if they happen, we will be able to save lives and property. Most importantly, lives.